So we have already done pure substance. Okay. So here in ideal gas mixtures also, we are going to treat the mixture as a pure substance. Okay. Where even though there are multiple components in a mixture, all of them can be treated as a single constituent. If you are able to treat multiple components in a mixture as a single constituent, then we call that as a pure substance, because they don't differ in their chemical composition and they don't differ in their nature. Okay, if every one of them is exhibiting an individual nature, then it is difficult to analyze that particular mixture. Okay, so with this background, let's go into ideal gas mixtures. Okay, so here we will be talking about mixtures. So you should understand that, say suppose if I have 1 kg of air, because air you are familiar, most of the time you would have studied this in your science in schools. So there is 23% oxygen or 22.9% oxygen, something like that. 23% oxygen, and there is 72% or 71% nitrogen. Okay, and then you have got what? Then you have got carbon dioxide 0.4%, and then you have got inert gases. Is it not? Then you have got inert gases. We are talking about air in the atmosphere. You have got inert gases, and then you have got water vapor content, moisture. All this is there in air. Okay, and in the previous syllabus we used to have psychrometry here, where we talk about the presence of water vapor in air. So there we will treat air as air plus water vapor content. So if the water vapor content is removed from air, then it becomes dry air. You will be doing that in the next semester in applied thermodynamics. Okay, if you remove this water vapor content from air, so if this is removed totally, then it becomes dry air. Okay, so after finishing this gas mixture, we will be doing that. So at that particular point of time, we will take this air as a single constituent and water vapor as another constituent. Only two constituents we will take. Whereas in this case, it will be a generic sense, wherein you have oxygen as an individual constituent, nitrogen as an individual constituent, carbon dioxide, inert gases, water vapor. It's like you students in a class. Okay, so for me, all the 54 are students. Okay, so I can classify you all as students, but all of you are individual, right? You have your own nature, you have your own characteristics. It is like that. We take a mixture, and there are k components here, and so the total mass is going to be the mass of individual constituents. It's quite simple. Nothing. I don't think there is anything. I don't have anything to explain here. Okay. So mass of constituent one, mass of constituent two. So how many constituents are there? Mass of the individual constituent added up together gives you the total mass of the mixture. Okay, and that can be denoted with the summation sign. Summation of I equal to 1 to k, summation over mi. Okay, and this is important. Mass fraction. So mass fraction, when I say how much amount of a particular constituent is present in a mixture. Say I'm saying my air has got oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, inert gases, and water vapor. When I say 23%, that is what I call as mass fraction. So if there is 1 kg of air, in that 1 kg of air, 0.23 kg will be oxygen. So that is called as mass fraction. How much amount of a particular constituent is present in a mixture of gas. Okay, so that is called as the mass fraction. So mi divided by m. So when I say xi, so here I can write this as the mass fraction of oxygen here is 0.23. mass fraction of nitrogen here is, it's just an example that I have taken. My values could be wrong. I think for nitrogen it should be some more higher. So for nitrogen it is 0.72, and maybe for carbon dioxide, X of carbon dioxide, which means mass fraction of carbon dioxide is maybe 0.04, whatever. Okay, so that gives you the mass fraction. So when I say xi, I stands for individual constituent, and then it gives you the representation of how much amount of a particular constituent is present in a mixture. So total number of moles of the mixture, just like mass, you can also uh, say that in terms of the number of moles of a particular constituent. So the total number of moles is the number of moles of individual constituents. So that can be treated as summation of Ni. So mole fraction is just like we did mass fraction, the number of moles of an individual constituent divided by the total number of moles. Okay, the number of moles of individual constituent divided by the total number of moles. Mass fraction is denoted by X suffix I. Mole fraction is denoted by Y suffix I. So X stands for mass fraction, Y stands for mole fraction. This unit will be very, very simple. You can very easily score marks here, nothing complicated here. So when all these mole fractions or mass fractions are added together, that should give you 1. Okay, so that will give you the value of 1. When every mass fraction of a particular mixture is added, it will give you the answer 1. Then we have already seen this relation connecting mass, mole number, and molecular mass. N is equal to M by capital M, where N is the number of moles, M is the mass in kilogram, and molecular mass is capital M in kilogram per kilomole. We have already done this in the first unit itself when we talked about ideal gas equation of state. Okay, so this is in kilomole. So your small n will be in kilomole. Your small m is in kilogram, and your molecular mass will be in kilogram per kilomole. Sometimes in the problem they also give this molecular mass in kilogram, and you can make the corrections accordingly. I'll let you know when we start solving the problems. Okay, so mass of each component can be represented as m equal to n into m. So individual component, you can individualize it, mi equal to ni into capital Mi. Okay, so your mass, when you add everything, so previously in the previous slide we simply took it as m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4. Now what we are doing is we are simply saying nm into capital M1. So we are simply adding it as n1 into capital M1 plus n2 into capital M2. That is what we are doing. This nm, this is also, this is nothing but small m1. So this is another way of representing it. That's all. Nothing complicated here. Etc. up to nk mk. That's all. That is what is written here. Summation of ni mi. Okay. And just like we have molecular mass for individual constituents, you can also have the average molecular mass of the mixture or apparent molecular mass of the mixture. That is also possible. Okay, and that is given as capital M is equal to summation of yi into mi. You can individualize the molecular mass of each entities, multiply it for the corresponding mole fractions, and then if you sum it up, that will give you the average molecular weight of the mixture. And the proof of it is shown here. See, the molecular mass is defined as mass by number of moles. The total mass can be represented as summation of mi divided by n, and the summation of mi can be replaced by ni into capital Mi, and this summation of ni by n is nothing but your summation of yi. Sorry, leave the summation. This is supposed to be ni by n. If you take ni by n, because individual molecule I missed the pointer. Where is the pointer? Okay. So Ni by N is your Yi. Okay. So Yi into Mi will give you, and adding the Yi into Mi will give you the apparent molecular mass of the mixture. Okay. So these are very, very simple definitions. So this is something which you will have to remember. M equal to summation of Yi into Mi. Okay. For gas constant, it will be a little bit different. I'll show you that also. Okay. And this you would have done already in your physics or chemistry, Dalton's law of partial pressure, which simply says, say if you have got k number of components in a mixture, then the partial pressure of each constituent, if added up together, will give you the overall pressure of the mixture. Okay. So we use the term total pressure of the mixture. Okay. So here I have used the word total pressure of the mixture. But this total has got another meaning. This total also means stagnation pressure. So it is not technically right to call it as total pressure. You can call it as overall pressure. Overall pressure is for the entire mixture. Okay. It is nothing wrong at this point of time to call it as total pressure. Even if in the problem they are asking it as total pressure, you can just go ahead and write it as the overall pressure. That is not at all an issue. But I'm just telling you, just to give you an idea, that this total pressure also has got a different meaning. Okay, that you will be learning later on when you talk about stagnation states. And this time around, that is there, that is not there as a core subject for you. Gas dynamics, I think it has been moved to the elective. So if some of you are taking it as an elective, then maybe you will have an idea of what this stagnation pressure is all about. Okay, now coming into the proof of it. So what it is saying is, say if I have a mixture, if I have a mixture wherein I have got oxygen, some amount of oxygen, some amount of nitrogen, and some amount of carbon monoxide. Say I have got three constituents in a mixture, and the pressure, the total pressure of this mixture is equal to the partial pressure. Partial pressure is nothing but, why we call it as partial is, it is only one constituent. So when it is compared with the total mixture, it is just partial, so we call it as partial pressure, but it is the pressure exerted by oxygen. So that is called as partial pressure of oxygen. Then pressure exerted by nitrogen, that is the partial pressure of nitrogen, plus pressure exerted by carbon monoxide, that is the partial pressure of carbon monoxide. So Dalton's law is simply telling me that if you add up the individual partial pressure of the constituents, that will give you the total pressure of the mixture. That is what Dalton's law is telling us. And this slide just gives you the proof of the Dalton's law. So what we have taken is, we have taken PV equal to NRU into T. That is the ideal gas equation of state. So if you looked into the title, it is ideal gas mixture. So we are treating everything as ideal gas. Okay, as a standard we have taken. So Pi equal to Ni Ru into T. So this is for the ith component of a mixture. So that can be written as Ni Ru into T by V. Ru is constant and the volume and temperature is held constant here in this particular example. So because we can write PV equal to nRT, so NRU into T. So PV is NRU into T. So this is the generic equation. So from this generic equation, I can write V equal to nRUT by P. So from this particular general equation, I'm writing it as V equal to nRU into T. Then what I do is, this particular equation V equal to nRUT by P is substituted in the first equation. In the first equation, there is a term called V. Okay, so there we substituted. So what we get is NiRUT by nRUT into P. And you can cancel out this RUTP, RUT and RUT in the numerator and denominator. So what you get is Ni by N into P. And this Ni by N is nothing but your mole fraction. The number of moles of the ith component divided by the total number of moles will give you the mole fraction of the ith component. So your Pi is Yi times P. Sometimes this particular result is also helpful in solving some problems. Okay. And now if I further continue, so now what I have done is I have estimated the partial pressure of an individual constituent. So if I want to estimate the total pressure, so P equal to N1, N2, N3, etc. up to Nk into RUT by V. This is nothing but this, P equal to NRUT by V. So instead of N, which is the total number of moles, I'm substituting it as N plus N1 up to Nk. Okay, and then I individualize it. N1, I'm opening this brackets and I'm writing it individually. And so this gives you P1, this gives you P2, this gives you P3, and so on, etc. up to Pk. So that is nothing but P equal to summation of Pi. So this is the proof of your Dalton's law of partial pressure. It can be done in this way mathematically also. Just like you have Dalton's law of partial pressure, there is another law called this Amagat's law of partial volumes. Okay, so just like we have done for this partial pressure, we can do for the volume also. Okay, we can start just like we started here. We can start with partial volume of the ith component. Sorry for the inconvenience. So let us proceed. Okay, just like we did for this Dalton's law, we can do for Amagat's law also. Okay. So here we can write it as NiRUT by P. And just like we use this ideal gas equation of state for this P, we can write this as N RU into T divided by V. And I can substitute this in the above equation, which will give me Vi equal to Ni Ru into T divided by N Ru into T. So divided by V will come up. So I can cancel out this Ru into T and Ru into T, and Ni by N is nothing but Yi, which is the mole fraction. So we get Yi times V. So Vi is Yi times V. Okay. And just like we did here, here also I can write this as V equal to N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus etc. or U into T divided by P. And I can write this as N1 Ru into T divided by P plus N2 Ru into T divided by P, and so on and so forth. You can do this. And this is nothing but V1 plus V2 plus V3 and it goes on, which can be written as summation of Vi. Okay, so here V is nothing but summation of Vi. So this law is called as Amagat's law of partial volumes. So if you are familiar with one thing, you will be able to derive the other. Okay, so the two important thing which you should note here is Vi is Yi times V, Vi is Yi times V, and V equal to summation of Vi. The same holds good for Dalton's law of partial pressures also. Okay, density of a gas mixture. So density of a gas mixture, we can write it as, we can derive this from specific volume. So specific volume is nothing but volume divided by mass. So we can retain the mass as such, sorry, volume as such. Mass, you can write it in terms of individual constituents, M1 plus M2 plus M3, etc. up to Mk. And you can invert it 1 by V, 1 by specific volume is M1 by V plus M2 by V, because this comes to the numerator, and you have V in the denominator, so you can split it and write it like this. Okay. And one mass divided by volume, volume divided by mass is specific volume. So M1 by V will become 1 by V1, 1 by V2, 1 by V3, etc. up to 1 by Vk. And this density is nothing but 1 by specific volume. So we can write it as rho is summation of rho I. Okay. So P is summation of Pi, V is summation of Vi, and rho is also summation of rho I. What about molecular mass? Molecular was summation of Yi into Mi. Okay. And now let's see what gas constant of a gas mixture is. So for the gas constant, okay, so let's start. So we are starting with the ideal gas equation of state for the ith component, where the volume and temperature is held constant. So Pi V equal to Ni Ru into T. So Pv equal to Nru into T. We are using that. So PIV is Ni Ru into T, and this is the relation concerning mass and molecular mass. Okay, so I'm replacing Ni with Mi by capital Mi. What we know is the definition of R. The definition of R is Ru divided by T. The universal gas constant divided by the temperature, sorry, molecular mass, Ru divided by M. Capital R equal to Ru divided by M. So here for the ith component, Ri is Ru divided by Mi. So this can be combined and written as Ru divided by Mi can be written as Ri. Okay, so PIV equal to Mi Ri into T. So if that is valid for the ith component, then I can write for individual components as P1V equal to M1R1T, P2V equal to M2R2T, PKV as MKRKT, so on and so forth. Okay, and then I know PV is equal to MRT. I know PV is equal to MRT. If I add all this, if I add all these terms, what I'll have is P1V plus P2V, etc. up to PKV. What we know is V is constant. So if you add up all the left hand side, what you'll have is P1V plus P2V, etc. up to PKV. So this is what you will have in the left hand side. If you add all the left components of the left hand side, all the equations on the left hand side, this is what you will get. And V is constant. If V is constant, what you'll have is inside the brackets P1 plus P2, etc. up to Pk. And what we know according to Dalton's law of partial pressure is, if you add all these partial pressures, that will give you the total pressure. So the total pressure is capital P. So what we have is PV, not capital P, just P. So PV is what we get in the left hand side. So similarly, you add up all the right hand side components in all the equations. M1R1 plus M2R2, etc. up to MKRK into T. T can be taken as constant. And if you compare this equation with the general equation PV equal to MRT, left hand sides are equal, so the right hand sides are supposed to be equal, and there you can cancel out P on both sides, and you will get M1R1 plus M2R2 plus MKRK equal to MR. Okay, so R is M1R1 plus M2R2 plus MKRK divided by M. And if you individualize this, if you can split this and write, if you split this and write, you will have M1 by M into R1 plus M2 by M into R2 etc. up to mk by m into rk. So this is x1, this is x2, and this is xk. So what you have is summation of xi into ri. Okay. So if we recollect what we have done so far, what we have done so far, what we are getting is P equal to summation of Pi according to the Dalton's law. V equal to summation of Vi, which is Amagat's law. Okay. And rho equal to summation of Ri, which we are able to do by taking the specific volume out of your volume. And then what we saw was M equal to summation of Yi into Mi, and R equal to summation of Xi into Ri. Okay, so these are all the equations that we are able to get from our from the discussions which we have done so far. Okay, and so let's see a couple of examples here on ideal gas mixtures. Very simple. A vessel of volume 0.4 meter cube contains 0.45 kg of carbon monoxide and 1 kg of air at 15 degrees centigrade. Calculate the partial pressure of each constituents and the total pressure in the vessel. The air contains 23.3% oxygen and 76.7% nitrogen by mass. Okay. And in the problem, they have given you the molecular mass also, but I have not given it because you should remember the molecular mass of each and every entity. Okay. So from the given details, so if from the problem, if we write the given details, what is given to us is the volume of the vessel. Okay. So the volume of the vessel is the total volume of the mixture as well. So the total volume happens to be 0.4 meter cube. So that is given to us in the problem. So the total volume is given as 0.4 meter cube. And then they have given the mass of carbon monoxide. Mass of carbon monoxide is 0.45 kilogram. So this is given directly. Okay. And then what they have said is something called mass of air. Mass of air is given as 1 kg. Okay. But this air is containing 23.3% oxygen and 76.7% nitrogen by mass. Okay, so this air has got 1 kg, and within this 1 kg, the mass of oxygen is 23.3%, which means 0.233. So I should not write this as mass of oxygen, I should write this as mass fraction of oxygen because it is in percentage, so 0.233. Then what they have given is the mass fraction of nitrogen, which is 0.767, 76.7%. If you add up, you will find 7 plus 3 is 10, 6 plus 4 is 10, 7 plus 3 is 10. So it is 1. If you add x of oxygen plus x of nitrogen, it will give you 1. Okay. But what we require is, and they have said this percentage is on mass basis. So from this, we can estimate the mass of oxygen. So mass of oxygen is nothing but, if you remember the formula, Xi, mass fraction of individual constituent, is mass of the individual constituent divided by the total mass of the mixture. Okay. So now what we have is X of oxygen. The total mass here is the mass of air, which is 1 kilogram. So mass of oxygen is going to be X of oxygen multiplied by the mass of air. Okay, so that is 0.233 into 1, which is once again 0.233. But now we have got a unit which is in kilogram. So 0.233 kilogram. In a similar way, you can also find out the mass of nitrogen. So mass of nitrogen is also 0.767. So mass of nitrogen is 0.767 kilogram. Okay. And what they are asking us to find out is the partial pressure of each constituent and the total pressure in the vessel. Okay. So that is quite simple. So what we have, so from what we have done, what we know is partial pressure can be written as partial pressure of ith component can be written as yi times p. So that is the partial pressure of ith component can be written as yi times p. Okay. But now in our case, everything is given in terms of mass fraction and everything is given in terms of mass. Okay. So either we can convert it into number of moles, you can convert it into mole fraction and then find out the mass fraction, or you can individualize PV equal to MRT and then you can do that also. Okay. So if we, because everything is in mass, let's proceed with the mass itself. What we know is PV equal to MRT. Okay. So what we can do here is we can find out the value of the partial pressure of carbon monoxide. If you want to find it out, then we can write it as mass of carbon monoxide multiplied by R of carbon monoxide multiplied by the temperature divided by the volume. The volume of the vessel is fixed. This is not going to change. And the temperature is at 15 degrees centigrade. This is also not going to change. Okay. So mass of carbon monoxide here is 0.45. How will you find out R of carbon monoxide? R of carbon monoxide is Ru divided by M, molecular mass of carbon monoxide. So this is 8314.4. We have already done this in the first unit. So Ru is 8314 joule per kilogram, joule per kilomole Kelvin. Okay. And molecular mass of carbon monoxide is 28. 12 plus 16, 28. Molecular mass of carbon is 12. Molecular mass of monoatomic oxygen is 16. So 12 plus 16, 28. Temperature is 15. 273 plus 15 is 288. And the volume is 0.4. So this gives you the partial pressure of carbon monoxide. You can write it in bar or in kilopascal, whichever is convenient, you can write it down. So this gives you the partial pressure of carbon monoxide. Similarly, you can find out, say here, you can even further subdivide the step. You can find out R of carbon monoxide separately. You can find R of carbon monoxide separately by writing it as Ru divided by mass of carbon monoxide, because that can give you the step marks. So Ru is 8314.4, mass of carbon monoxide is 28. So you can get R of carbon monoxide in joule per kilogram Kelvin. Okay, you can do that individually. Okay, so that will give you the value of R of carbon monoxide. Similarly, you can also do it for the partial pressure of oxygen. So partial pressure of oxygen is mass of oxygen into R of oxygen into temperature divided by the volume. So this gives you the partial pressure of oxygen. Okay. So mass of oxygen happens to be 0.233. R of oxygen is 8314.4 divided by 32. For diatomic oxygen, 16 into 2, so 32. Temperature is 288, volume is 0.4. So that will give you the partial pressure of oxygen in bar. Similarly, you can find out the partial pressure of nitrogen also. So that is mass of nitrogen into R of nitrogen into temperature divided by volume. So mass of nitrogen into R of nitrogen into temperature divided by volume. This will give you something in bar. So now that we have found out or estimated the first part of the problem, the partial pressure of each constituent is estimated. Now they want us to find the total pressure in the vessel. So it is simply adding all these three. So the total pressure is partial pressure of carbon monoxide plus partial pressure of oxygen plus partial pressure of nitrogen. Very simple. Nothing complicated here. So you can solve this. I haven't written down the solutions for this for want of time. So I didn't prepare the solution for this. So I want you guys can make a note of it and work it out. I'll update the presentation slide and then I'll send it to you. Okay. Example 2. So all these problems I have taken from Mahesh M. Rathur, Thermal Engineering by Mahesh M. Rathur, under ideal gas mixtures. A volumetric analysis of gaseous mixture gives the following result. So here they are talking about volumetric analysis. So if they are talking about volumetric analysis, they are talking about molar analysis. So here it is on mole basis. Sometimes they use the word gravimetric analysis, GRAVI, gravimetric analysis. So that is with reference to mass. Okay, so that is with reference to mass. So that is gravimetric analysis. So that is with reference to mass. When you say volumetric analysis, that is with reference to number of moles. So here what is given is the mole fraction of carbon monoxide. So Y of carbon monoxide is 12%, Y of nitrogen is 82%, Y of oxygen is 0.4%, and Y of CO is 2%. So you can convert this into decimal places where you will have 0.12 and this is 0.82. and this is 0.04, and this is 0.02. And if you add up all these, you should get 1. If you add up these two, you get 0.06. 0.06 plus 0.12 is 0.18. 0.18 plus 0.82 is 1. Okay, so that makes it a perfect gas mixture. Determine the analysis of gas mixture on the mass basis. The molecular weight and the gas constant on the mass basis for the gas mixture. Okay, so they have given you the mole fraction, and now they want us to find the mass fraction of all these. Okay, so what is given to us is this. So what we know is number of moles of oxygen divided by the total number of moles, that is 0.12. Okay, so this is YO2. Okay, so now what we can do is we can even frame a table here. We can even frame a table here. So first we can write constituents. This is not a compulsion that you should draw table always, but it can help us sometimes in estimating or cross-checking the values. So the constituents here are carbon monoxide, then what we have is nitrogen, then we have oxygen, and then we have carbon monoxide. And what is given is the value of Y. The value of Y is given to us. This is 0.12. This is 0.82. This is 0.04, and this is 0.02. So this is your Y. What we have seen here is summation of all these Yi is equal to 1. Okay. So if nothing is mentioned about the total number of moles in the mixture, we can assume that the total number of moles in the mixture is 1 kilomole. Okay. So if the total number of moles in the mixture, if small n is equal to 1 kilomole, then N of oxygen is nothing but N into Y of oxygen. If I assume this total number of moles is 1 kilomole, N of oxygen is nothing but 1 kilomole multiplied by Y of oxygen. Okay, so that will give me 0.12 kilomole here. Okay, Y doesn't have any unit because it is a fraction of the number of moles and number of moles of individual constituent by total number of moles. So here what you'll have is the same value. You can try working out with this particular formula. YO2 equal to NO2 by N. So NO2 is N into YO2. N is 1, YO2 is 0.12. Similarly, you can write it for Y of N2 is equal to N of N2 divided by N. Okay, and N of N2 is 0.82 1, sorry, y of N2 is 0.82, N is 1. So number of moles of N2 will be 0.82 kilomoles. Hope you guys are able to follow this. Okay, and so this will also be 0.04, and this will be 0.02. And then what you can have is the molecular mass for individual constituents. And according to the definition, we know molecular mass is in kilogram per kilomole. Molecular mass is in kilogram per kilomole. Okay, and we know that molecular mass of carbon is 12, molecular mass of monatomic oxygen is 16. Here there are two oxygen atoms, so 12 plus 32 is 44. So here it is 44. For nitrogen, it is 28. Monatomic nitrogen is 14, so 14 into 2, 28. Oxygen, it is 32. 2 into 16. Carbon monoxide, 12 plus 16, 28. Now I can find out the value of mass. We know the relation number of moles equal to mass by molecular mass. So mass equal to number of moles into molecular mass. Number of moles into molecular mass, and so the unit will be in kilogram. And so 0.12 into 44 will give you the mass of oxygen. So 0.12 into 44 will give you 5.28. This is in kilogram. 0.82 into 28 will give you 22.96. 22.96. 0.04 into 32 will give you 1.28. And 0.02 into 28 will give you 0.56. So this 0.56 plus 1.28 plus 22.96 plus 5.28 is 30.08. So summation of this mass, if you add all these individual mass, you are getting 30.08 kilograms. So you can correct me if I am wrong. So summation of, I should not say M, summation of Mi. So that is 30.08 kilograms. So M is equal to summation of Mi. So if you have sufficient phase, you can have another row here below the table and you can write it as summation, total. And you can get the total value of mass. Okay. So now that I know the value of each mass of the individual constituent, now it is possible to find out the mass fraction of all these. So what is the mass fraction? Mi divided by M. So here it will be 5.28 divided by 30.08. So X of carbon dioxide, I'll just write the equation for one thing. Mass of carbon dioxide divided by the total mass. So mass of carbon dioxide here is 5.28. 5.28 divided by 30.08. Okay, so this guy is 5.28 divided by 30.08 is 0.18. Okay, so what we get here is 0.18. Similarly, you can do for the rest. So 22.96 divided by 30.08. So that is 0.76. So this is 0.76. 1.28 divided by 30.08. So that is 0.04. And 0.56 divided by 30.08, that is 0.02. And if you add up all these, check if you are getting 1. If you are getting 1, what you have done is correct. If you are not getting 1, then what you have done is wrong. In this case, 0.18 plus 0.02, it will give you 0.2, and 0.76 and 0.04 will give you 0.8. So 0.8 plus 0.2 will be 1. So summation of xi is 1. Okay. So now what they are asking us to find out is, so they are asking us to find the analysis of gas mixture on the mass basis. That is what is this xi we have found out. So this is the analysis of gas on the mass basis. So that has been done. And they are asking us to find the molecular weight and gas constant of the gas mixture. Here what we have done is the molecular mass of individual constituents. And according to the equation which we have derived before, the molecular weight of the mixture is summation of yi into mi. So that means it is y of carbon monoxide multiplied by molecular mass of carbon monoxide plus y of nitrogen multiplied by molecular mass of nitrogen, and then the other two terms also, y of oxygen plus molecular mass of oxygen, and y of carbon monoxide plus into molecular mass of carbon monoxide. So if you do that, then you will be able to get the value of m. So here you can have a term for that also. In the table you can write this as yi into mi, and the unit will be in kilogram per kilomole. Okay, so yi is 0.12 and capital M is 44. So 44 into 0.12 gives you 5.28. So if you look, you will get the same values of this over here. Okay, you will get the same values because the number of moles and y is the same. If these two are different, then this and this will be different. But because y and n are same, you will get the same values over here. Okay. But where you have to be careful is we simply added this and got the value of the mass. Okay, so let us do this. So if I fill this table, what I'll have is 5.28. This will be 22.96. This will be, so this is 22.96. This is 1.28. And this will be 28. Now you simply add it up. Sorry, this is 0.56. Sorry. So this fellow is 0.56. So if you add it up, because it is yi into mi, if you add it up, your total number of mass is equal to the total number of, the total value of mass is equal to the total molecular mass. So this is also 30.08, but the unit is kilogram per kilomole. So the unit here is kilogram per kilomole. Okay, so we have found out the molecular weight. What is the next one? They are asking us to find out the gas constant. So gas constant, first you need to find out the value of individual gas constants. So Ri, the formula is Ri equal to Ru divided by molecular mass of individual constituent. Ru divided by molecular mass of individual constituent. Okay. So let me do it for oxygen, carbon dioxide alone. So R of carbon monoxide, Ru here is 8314.4. 8314.4 divided by 44. So this will give you the R value for carbon dioxide. Okay. And if we check, the value here is 8314.4 divided by 44 gives you 188.96 joule per kilogram Kelvin. So you have to be consistent with the units also. So this is 188.96. And for nitrogen, 8314.4 divided by 28. So that is 296.94. And you have the molecular mass is 28 for carbon monoxide also. So this fellow will also be 296.94. And we have oxygen. Oxygen is 8314.4 divided by 32, which is 259.83. And how do we estimate the gas constant of the mixture? It is Xi into Ri. Summation of Xi into Ri is the gas constant of the mixture. So now you have to multiply this Ri term with Xi term. Okay, so it is so here you will have 10.39 and for the first two what you'll have is 188.96 multiplied by 0.18. So this is 34.01. Hope you guys are also working it out. And 296.94 multiplied by 0.76. So this is 225.67. And 296.94 multiplied by 0.02 is 5.94. Okay, so now you have to add up all these. So 5.94 plus 10.39 plus 225.67 plus 34.01. So that gives you 276.01 joule per kilogram Kelvin. Units are very, very important. And now that we are able to estimate everything from the table itself. Okay. So that is what they have asked us to find out. They have asked us to find out the analysis of the gas mixture on mass basis. They have asked us to find out the molecular weight of the gas mixture. They have asked us to find out the gas constant of the wax mixture. And we have done that with the help of by drawing a simple table.